Hey, it's Spanky, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast. Check out Spankonya, Thursday, February 27th at the Old Rock House.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thanks for tuning in to a brand new episode. I want a couple things I want to tell you about. March 10th, I'll be back out at Naked Vine for my singer-songwriter storytelling showcase, bringing along Jonathan Brady, Haley Woolbright, and Vince Puzo. This is 7 o'clock start, $10 at the door. It'll get you in. And you get all three writers sitting on stools and a listening room experience, playing the songs acoustically, sharing the stories behind them. It's a lot of fun. Hope you can make it out there. Again, that's at Naked Vine in Chesterfield, Missouri, located on Clarkson Road. And if you haven't been out there yet, you're missing out. It's a really beautiful little hidden gem out there in Chesterfield, serving up all kinds of wine, whiskey, tequila, and local craft beers. You can stop by February 27th. Every Thursday night, they do a vinyl spin night out there. So come out, bring your own record, whatever you want to play, and share with everybody. So Vinny's Vinyl Spin on Thursdays. Friday, February 28th, Big Mike Aguirre and will be out there. And then on February 29th, Saturday night, Fine to Drive returns to the stage. You can find all this and more at nakedvine.net. Be sure to follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also want to say a quick shout out to Heil. They've been part of the show for a while now, and I've been loving this microphone. So check out heilsound.com today. Also, big thank you to Roughneck Beard Company and American Rambler for their support. They've been with me a while too now, and I've been really loving this beard oil I've been using. It's awesome. Makes the beard smell good and feel good and everything. So check out their products over there at Roughneck Beard Company. They have a shop located in Maplewood, Missouri, right off of Manchester. Or you can shop 24/7 at roughneckbeardcompany.com. You can enter my code RPP15 for an exclusive 15% off. And again, try their beard oil. They got beard balm. They got junk powder for your junk, and all sorts of other wonderful products over there for all your grooming needs. If you don't have a beard, tell your friends with beards. That's the place to be. With all that out of the way, I also want to remind everybody we have some new Rock Paper Podcast stocking caps in. We got ball caps. I got T-shirts, stickers, buttons, all sorts of goodies. If you'd be interested in any of these things, feel free to hit me up at rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com, and I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions or guest requests or anything, I'd just reach out, say, hey, let me know what you're listening to. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey, I'm Spanky.
And I'm Bill.
And we're from Spankonya, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
Double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with Spankonya.
Yeah.
We got two-thirds of the band here with us today.
Yes. Sophisticated Funk could not be here today.
He was available for the photo shoot, and then he had obligations. Probably getting more sophisticated, more funk, right?
Oh, yeah. You guys want to properly introduce yourselves for everyone listening?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Bill Newman, and I'm playing bass with Spankonya.
Do you have any nicknames? We should go over your nicknames already.
Yeah, I have a few nicknames, but I guess
is Mayor Newman
Mayor
the new one?
Newman. It is a good one, but I feel Billy Noise is the one that's most appropriate here.
Billy Noise?
Billy Noise.
Billy Noise?
Billy Noise. Well, that's a different one. Billy Noise is my state
We've
name.
separated Billy Noise to
Yeah.
Billy Noise.
Yeah. Now it's Billy Noise when I'm really rocking out.
Ooh, I like that when he's really rocking out.
Yeah. You know.
My name is Philip Manaois, better known as Spanky. Very few people call me by my real name, but yeah, I'm Spanky. I'm the singer and keyboard player of Spankonya.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, and I wish you've mentioned Sophisticated Funk we were talking about is our drummer,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes. Rick Killian, our drummer. That's Sophisticated Funk.
Sophisticated funk.
He doesn't really speak, actually. He's not quite mute, but that's why we don't have him on the podcast today. We figure that's a good way to start it. We've established this now. If we ever hear from the drummer, from Rick, it'll be a big day.
The vest and tie that he was wearing earlier, though,
He's looking
really
sharp.
spoke to me. I felt
Was it
that was sophisticated.
It was very sophisticated. He looks
Yeah.
sophisticated funk. Did he have teal? Was it turquoise? What was the color?
Oh, I'm not sure. It was more of like kind of an ocean. I don't know.
It looked like it had rain on you,
But it was
right?
Yeah.
It was raindrop blue.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It is.
enough dumb stuff. Sorry.
Well, I don't know if we so Spanky's been on before. We did one covering a lot of your different stuff, but I don't know if we ever got into the nickname stuff when that started, when Spanky started. That I guess that's been around for a long time, right?
My nickname?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been around. I got it when I was 21. Man, I'm over twice my age now. That's crazy. I'm 45. I don't care. When I was in college and playing at a piano bar in Tampa, Florida. And so, because in Tampa, every time you got on stage and off stage, there's a lot of tourists, is my point. And so every time you got on stage and off stage, they had to say, from St. Louis, Missouri, it's Philip Manaois. And even at the end of my set, my partner would be like, hey, make some noise for Philip Manaois, blah, blah, blah. That was just the thing we had to do at work. And then when one night, the next day I came in after work, let's put it that way, and the guys started calling me Spanky, and it just stuck. I really don't want to. I can't get into the full story. I mean, I could, but and there's like a pocket of people out there that know the full story and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I have actually a few variations of what I tell.
Sure.
But yeah, so I honestly have been stuck with that. But my name being Philip Manaois, you can't say it, spell it, remember it.
Yeah.
I mean, my first name is one L. Everybody puts two. My last name looks like it's French or whatever. And actually, my grandpa came from the Philippines, so it's Filipino, But
Right.
yeah, so that's been so. Whether I want to or not, I've played for 4 governors. I mean, I've played for tons of Fortune 500 CEOs and stuff, and hardly anybody wants to address me when they first meet me. They're just like, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" They don't want to say Spanky,
Yeah.
Because and I've had people, should I call you that? I'm like, you can call me Philip, but you're not going to remember that. And like, you're right. So, yeah, that's so it just kind of works,
Yeah.
And then so kind of tell how I came up with Spankonya. So I was thinking about starting a new band, and everybody knows trying to come up with band names is like the most impossible task, right?
It is.
Everybody has sat around with notebooks and wrote down a million things, and you're like, what's cool or just what fits the band or whatever. And so I thought of Outkast's album Stankonya. And they really thought of that, and I was like, man, I could change that to, Spankonya. And then it was it you or Rick that had made the suggestion about, or was it you? Somebody change the I to a Y.
Oh, that was me.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I changed the I to a Y, and it literally spells out Spankonya. And I was just like, and I don't know, but I like one word band names, like Galactic, stuff like that. I love one word band names. I think it's easy to remember. I think it's funny but not gross. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like Spankonya. I don't know. It just kind of fits. So.
Right. I agree, man. I think it works well, and I don't know, it just sounds like a funky, So
Right. It sounds fun.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. You can't take Spankonya too serious. Right?
Yeah. It's kind of got a good times feel about it.
Yeah. I get before we get going too much further into the project, I would like to know how, since we have both of you here together, like how you two came to be friends, and then how moving in towards our new project now and stuff. So
Gotcha. We have been in a band called the Provels together for almost 7 years. Met in 2013. Started playing with those guys, and kind of had a blast there.
So you guys just met through the band?
Through the band, yeah. The first time I met him was at that rehearsal. So if we go all the way back, and I don't know how much is this out there, if we even covered on, because the Provels podcast, I think it was Jim and JT. I don't know if they got to that story. Like, I filled in on a gig with a band called Slam that Tony Barbata led and played drums and stuff like that.
Jimmy Manaois part of that too.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So the day I filled in, there was a ton of subs, and they asked me to be like the lead singer since I did the dueling pianos and know all those songs and stuff. And so Jim Peters was the guitar player filling in as well. And so we just were hanging out at that gig, and it was at Fairmount Park. This gig was crazy. You play like 2 songs, and then you rest for like 19 minutes. It's weird. You rest, and they have the race go on. You go drink beer and eat food and stuff, and it's like, oh, come back, we're gonna play 3 songs now. And you're like, oh, okay. It was like 17 sets of 3 songs or something, It was funny. So we're all hanging out, and just lots of breaks. So me and Jim were talking about Galactic and the Meters and Great Boy All Stars and all these bands, And that just really from that gig, and then I don't know, 6 months later, something, I can't remember when it was. Jim, Jonathan Taylor, JT, and Bill were all playing together and putting the Provels in a new formation, right? Because the Provels sort of existed.
Yeah, well, no, this
right?
is a funny anecdote. Is like we did exist before, but
Jim Peters is calling right now.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Like he knows,
Jimmy.
That's funny.
But so JT came to me at the time I worked at a coffee shop, and hey, I'm starting a funk band. Okay, cool. And so, but he didn't play drums; he played keys. But we played with 2 other guys named Phil and Jim. On
that's right. I forgot of that.
Yeah, and so, but then that band kind of broke up, and me and JT kind of stuck together. And I knew Jim from before. I've known him forever.
Because how many? Name your bands.
Let's see. We were in the Upright Animals was a good one. We were in a band called the Principals together. And we've done like just a lot of one-off shows and stuff too, just doing whatever.
Yeah.
And then,
I forgot where I was going with that, but we were having practice, and Jim was like, "Hey, I met a guy named Spanky one time."
Yeah, that's literally they were like,
yeah, and
he seemed cool.
He seemed
and
like we were talking about the Meters. That's what he said.
Literally, the Meters were what they said. And he called me or hit me up on Facebook probably. It was like, "Hey, you want to come jam?" And I think we went to JT's house and just kind of jammed, and then after that, man, we started playing and whatnot.
So you replaced Phil and Jim with Phil and Jim?
Yeah.
What is that?
I know. What are the odds?
I know, it's so random.
That's why I couldn't stick with Phil there. They gotta be Spanky. We already had a Phil. We got Phil and Jim. It didn't work out. We'll try Spanky and Jim and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then and that band plays, and whatnot, and does our thing. But I'm in tons of other bands. I've played with so many other bands as well, and I love filling in. Actually, like last night I filled in with The Service for the first time. It's probably the one time I'll ever fill in with them. But it's awesome just to for me to my personal resume to be like, look, I got to play with that band for a night,
Nate Hershey, right?
Yeah, he's on vacation, and so Andy, who I've known Andy Coco 22 years probably. We were talking about that last night. He showed me a set list. He goes, "Remember that?" He's like, "That's like one of the first set lists I ever sent you." We were playing House of Groove. I think is what he called it. It was a blues band we used to play in. We were talking about that before the digital age and this social media and all that stuff. I moved back to St. Louis after college and grabbed an RFT and looked in there and was like, oh, keyboard auditions for this blues band. And that's how it went. I started calling up, hey, man, I play piano. I'd like to come over, and whatever. And that's how I met Andy Coco. We played a couple of different blues bands and stuff, And then most people don't know I was part of Dogtown All Stars, the beginning of that. I was in that band when we started. So, but then I quit basically in 2003. And I didn't play any bands for 10 years. I just was strictly doing pianos and that kind of stuff, basically.
Yeah.
And then, 2013, got in the Provels, and then been playing with so many bands. And of course, the Voodoo Players. I've done 200 shows now, 201 shows of those, which is a lot.
That's crazy, man. Yeah.
And
A lot of Wednesdays.
A lot of Wednesdays, a lot of music, you know what I mean? So, and that's what I like about it. I've grown in these 7 years since I've joined the Provels. 2014, started playing the Voodoo Show. Like, all the different type of music has been an education, you know? I've done, I think, 30 different themes from, you know, Talking Heads to Ween to Bruce Springsteen to, you know, country night, outlaw country. We did trucker night. You know what I mean? Like, so much different Beatles. How many different Beatles albums have we covered now? And so, like, you just learn so much more about music by dissecting that and learning the songs. All of a sudden, it's like, so I feel like I've just taken it to a whole new level where I understand more than ever. And that's part of, like, where the bands come from. You know, it's like, okay, let's take all this experience that Bill, Rick, and I have from all our various stuff, and let's, you know, we're all in this. Okay, that's the biggest thing we have right now. What most bands, you can almost, it's hard to get, is we're all on the same page. That's the biggest thing. We're all on the same page. We're all eager to work, but not just to get out and play in every hole in the wall. That's not trying to, we're already playing gigs. So we're trying to, you know, build something, you know?
Well, you and again with Rick, you guys go back to dueling piano stuff.
Yeah,
too,
I've known
right?
Rick 11, 12 years, something like that. He started working with me in like 2008, 2009. Yeah, he was like 19, 20. I think he was 19 when he actually auditioned. Yeah, this month will be, he knows. I wish he was here. He knows that. But he came in when I owned the Jive and Whale. And he auditioned. Yeah, he's like 19 years old, played some Ben Folds stuff. By the way, Rick knows like every Ben Folds song. I keep telling him to do a Ben Folds tribute show. Do it like off-Broadway. People would come out to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think people would come out to it. But yeah, and he played some of, I can't remember what else but he would know. Maybe even Mustang Sally. Was that maybe one of his audition songs? But yeah, so I've known him a little over 10 years now, you know, and but that's the thing. Like, most people won't. So people ask me, like, well, who's going to be in your new band? I was like, well, I got Bill, you know, Mayor Bill playing bass. Like, Mayor Bill, all right, there's a win there. And then everybody thought it'd be like a drummer from the scene that they know, and I'm like, nah, you guys would be surprised, because so in dueling pianos, my style, I don't like using drums and whatnot. It's just different. We're talented enough to use just the pianos and make it percussive and make people dance with just that. That's anyway. So, but I've been doing dueling pianos 24 years come this June. So, I mean, that's literally almost almost a quarter century. So, you know, over the years, occasionally we've used drums or whatever. When I owned the bar, I would break out the drums for a weekend every 2 or 3 months, something just to, so when the customers come in, they'd be like, holy crap, they got drums tonight, you know, just to change it up. And so in the piano bar circuit, when there is drums, there's usually a 3 or 4 man show, and so the guy that's not on playing at the piano usually plays the drums, and so that's what we would do. And Rick plays killer drums. I was just like, what the hell? I'm like, couldn't believe it. You know, I'm like, he's rocking it back there, because I play just a beat. You know what I mean? It ain't solid. It's like I'm doing what I got to right there. You know, and you know, a couple of us are like that, but he's back there killing it. I was like, all right. So I've always remembered that. And I was like, and I don't need. This sounds crazy. Maybe it sounds arrogant. I don't know. Like, Bill is not your flashy, you know, he's not your Mike Gordon or, you know, those type of
I like
bass
to
players.
consider myself meat and potatoes.
Yes, meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
That's that's perfect. And you know what? I love meat and potatoes. That's what I am, for real. That's the kind of guy. And that's what I want. I want a foundation. I need a bass player who's going to give me a foundation.
Sure.
Hold it down, keep that groove going so everybody keeps dancing. Same with the drummer. I don't need you to be super fancy. You know what I mean? You don't got to be fancy, man. Just need to be solid. You know, that rhythm section be solid. I will be fancy enough for everybody.
Yeah, you got enough
what I mean?
flash for
I got
all of
enough
us,
flash.
man.
Yeah, you know,
That's awesome, dude.
I will, you know, and that's what I'm ready for. Like, I've been part of bands for a long time, and I've never had my own band, so to speak. And so I want to get crazy and whatnot, because I've learned after this many years that people do like watching me play. Like, I use my body and I get into it, and you know, playing the piano and playing the organ is a percussive. You know, it's like playing the drums.
Right.
It's very percussive. You know, and so I do all that. I use 2 hands, and sometimes, yes, it is just showing off, but that's what you're doing.
Dude, you're an entertainer.
You know? We're entertainers,
dude,
you know.
totally.
So I want to take that now and get that in front of people. I'm ready finally to be like, okay, I got a plan, and we're gonna play these songs. And yeah, we have a lot of. We're not calling them covers. I learned this from Andy Coco. And who learned this from? Oh, he told me, I forgot. It's interpretations.
Yeah,
we're doing more interpretations in the beginning, but we're writing stuff as well. We're gonna put out an album this year. the typical. But we're not waiting around and sitting around like most bands. Like I said, we're trying to get this done and get out in front of people. We love opening for bands. That's a great way to do it. That's our first gig is February 27th with Joslyn and the Sweet Compression, right?
Yeah.
Out of Lexington, Kentucky.
Let's talk about this because, like, both of us, me and Spanky, for sure, started when the opportunity came about, and we sent a link to her music, and both of us were just like, oh wow, like this is incredible. So I'm super excited to see what they do live.
I know, right? I can't wait to hear them. I bet they're great. I mean, it's just, the record is tight. It sounds really good. She's got a great voice. The band is fire. So yeah. And Shane sent it to me. He's like, we fit for this. And of course, in fairness, I was just going to tell him yes, no matter what it was, unless it's something like Shania Payne or something like crazy. You know what I mean? I was going to be like yes, and then I heard it. I'm like, yeah, we're a perfect fit for this. This is soul music, So
yeah. Well, she kind of like there's definitely some funky stuff in there with the horns and things too. But you got your soul, you got R&B, like
that one song you were talking about was Love. What is that with the horns?
Love on the Double.
That's got some great stuff in it, man. And it's just a really solid band. Like, I'm excited to see them. And so that'll be February 27th, Old Rock House, Thursday night. Tickets available at oldrockhouse.com. Pick those up. This will be the big debut of the band. Yes.
So it's going to be a big night.
We're going to get full funky and soulful and all kinds of stuff. We got, so this is people like that. We're going to play songs that people know, our interpretations, but that's not going to be what every band's playing in town. You know what I mean? There's so much stuff. And I think from my experience as a dueling piano player, I see what people request on the regular, right? And it's mostly the same stuff. I post on my social media, my request slips and stuff. Like, it's just, it's amazing. Yeah. Oh, when people write down Sweet Home Alabama by the Allman Brothers, that's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. I love their version of it.
They're the original, aren't they? So I think about all that kind of stuff. And I think about, like, I love using this example. U2, okay? Worldwide band, right? International, huge band, but hardly ever get requests for them at work. Why? I have no idea, but I hardly ever see U2 requests. So it's just stuff like that you think of. Or like, and this are the songs, like Tempted by Squeeze. Tempted by the fruit of a nut.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, love that song. Everybody knows that song when they hear it, but no one's ever going to request it, or no one's ever playing it. You know what I mean? Now, we're not playing that in the band, but I'm just talking about stuff like that.
Sure.
That everybody's going to know, and the main thing is people dance. I've been in enough bars and clubs and around the world, literally, to see stuff like people want to dance. They dance. They get thirsty. They go to the bar and get a drink. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's what the cycle is. Make the women dance first. Men will dance as well sometimes, but women want to dance, just have a good time. Like, we're doing an interpretation of a Fleetwood Mac tune actually, and so, man, it's when people hear it. At first, they're going to dance just because of the beat and the feel to it. But then when we get to the hook, everybody will sing along because they'll be like, oh, I know the words to this song. It's that kind of stuff.
That's I think I told you, but that's one of my favorite things. Like, when I go to shows and like a band does their interpretation of a song, and that you're kind of listening and you're like, it feels familiar, but it's like just different enough to where it's, and then all of a sudden that hook comes around, and you're like, oh, there it is. But that's
and that ride, right? It just feels so good. Sure. You're just like, okay, what's going on here, And then when, like I said, when all of a sudden you recognize, you're like, oh man, it feels so good. You're like, exactly. That's what we're looking for. Like, and we're trying to connect with. That's my experience stuff. The people that are in the scene that come out on Mondays and Tuesdays to Pop's Blue Moon and Wednesday nights at the Bob, you know what I mean? Those people that come out, but also the weekend warriors. We want those people that, we love music, but we have a 9-to-5 job and, all that. We're going to touch everybody in that way. We're going to use the music that way just to move everybody. I don't know. I guess this is arrogant to say, but I have... People do. They come up and man, I love watching you play, and so we're going to take that to people. That's what I'm trying to do. Like, we're going to, as a 3-piece.
We were just
fun.
We were just talking about the other night. I was watching this band, and he had a keyboard player, and he's like probably classically trained, very very good at what he does, but he's like very proper and kind of stiff when he plays, and like that's what we were kind of talking about, how the way difference between watching you or Dave Grelly or somebody play where it's all like all its feel and stuff. You know, you guys are, it's a show and stuff like so. Both sound great, but there's also the show part of it, like you were talking about. So yeah,
No, totally. I think about that. I watch some of my favorite keyboard players, and and I get it. And sometimes that's not your personality. And
Yeah,
that's
sure.
kind of just how I am. But I mean, you're right, because you can kill it up there.
Right.
But if you're just, if you don't look like you're having fun, or whatever it is. But that's why I like using my body, or when I know when I go to stand up towards the end of a solo or something and get a little crazy with two hands, I know people are going to go crazy and scream. And like last night, we were playing at the Bottle Works, and you don't expect I didn't expect a super attentive crowd listening to the band. Man, people were way into it, clapping after solos. And that's what we're after when we're up there, like that feeling.
Dude, you guys were tearing it up too. You guys were tearing it
Thanks,
up.
man.
Yeah.
It was fun,
Yeah.
so we just want to take it to the people. It's really about the people. I don't care if there's 6 people there, which we hope there's only 6 people there, or 600. Like, man, let's all take this musical ride and enjoy it together and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, we've got a couple bluegrass tunes. Like, we're not Fish or anything, but like we're just gonna mix it up a little bit. People are gonna dance. That's the whole thing. I want people to be like, yeah, just have hands in the air and just having a good time.
Yeah.
Well, we I also want to talk about we got together today and did some photos around town.
Yeah.
So that was a real good time getting to actually get all of us together and get to not necessarily practice or whatever, just get to hang out for a while today and stuff. But
out in the cold and the rain.
Yeah.
That's what we do for you people. We're out in the cold and the rain.
The
so
downtown
we can look beautiful.
urban landscape.
That's right.
But a big shout out to Jason Wilson for his help with that. And
Yep.
I'm really excited to see what he captured. But so that was a fun day. So keep an eye out for some photos. I'm sure you can follow along on Facebook and Instagram and see some of
website
those.
will be up in like 48 hours, 72 hours. So spankonya.com. Yeah, I'll get it done tomorrow. It's so much work all the time.
But we do have some shirts. Maybe we'll get.
We got shirts. Gonna drop the dank on you shirts.
Yeah.
That's what it says on the front. Spank on you on the back. Yeah, I think me and Shane have the only 2. Basically, me, Shane, and his wife have the only 3, I guess, out there so far. So they're collector's items. I think I'm just going to take all the other box and just stick them in in the safe for 50 years. And
Do you think I could have one? No.
We'll give you the left sleeve of one.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
There we go. Is how the guys in the band earn their shirt.
Yeah. You can
your
tell who the
sleeve.
mayor is by his sleeve.
We got to put a Mayor Newman patch now on your shirt.
You guys remember?
We got stickers too. Don't forget.
Yeah, man.
Spank on you stickers.
Yep. So come visit our merch table on the 27th and pick up a sticker and a shirt and let everybody know.
Picture, autograph, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we're down with the people. We're not way up there.
Oh, we love the
Heads in
people.
the clouds. We love the people. We appreciate the people.
Yeah, the common folk, we love them.
Yeah, we love those kind of people. This is where people turned off. I don't know why.
I did it again. Sorry, guys.
That happens.
I was gonna say though, do you remember in Major League? Whenever they were they had the owner that was like trying to get them to lose every game,
Right, so she could move the team
and
to
then
Miami.
and then they start like going on a winning streak, and they had that cut out of her, and they start
every win.
Yeah, so we can do that with Bill. We'll just do the opposite of put a different piece of the shirt back.
We need gigs, guys. We got to cover a bill.
But that can be motivation
We
for
have
us
one
all.
gig. So we have one gig so far, so we can put that in that one spot that we need to put it on.
Start with that left sleeve.
Oh yeah. He's way too exposed.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah.
Good times are going to be had. You can tell already.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I don't know if anybody has been following me online. I guess
This should be a full disclosure here. All right,
I am
your rock paper podcast host Shane Presley here is going to tell you.
I am officially managing the band.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I will tell you, a lot of people come to me like, dude, that was a genius move. I'm like, yeah, I know. Why do you think I asked him? I'm like, he knows everybody. He's so nice. He's into the scene. He's into music. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing we talked about, I'm not lazy. You're not lazy. And that's not, that's the problem with a lot of stuff is let's get stuff done, dude. Let's make a plan.
Yeah.
You text me this idea. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Let's make it happen. You know?
So I guess we should say too. Like we had dinner at Sauce on the Side. I feel obligated to mention them as much as I can. So hopefully they'll sponsor my show someday.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah.
Man.
Their special for the month of January was this breakfast sausage, egg, and bacon and hash browns in it, and it come with like a maple butter syrup on the side.
Ooh-wee.
And like
it was really
so good.
What do you know? What the February special is?
No, unfortunately, I can't remember. But but you should go visit anyway because everything's delicious there. So visit them wherever your closest location all over the city. But no, this was not a paid endorsement at all. So, but
Unpaid, but love to be paid.
big fan.
Indoors, yeah.
But anyway, we stopped in there and we had some calzones and we got to talking and we even that night we just started coming up with ideas and I was like, let's so we hit the ground running with this project and I'm thrilled to be involved and I'm excited to see where we can take this thing.
Heck
So
yeah.
it's been it's kind of crazy that it's only been a few weeks of being officially announced and then
All the stuff we've gotten
all
done.
those- we got
scheduled.
the gig came.
This is highly irregular. I
Right,
feel.
exactly. Well, and that's what we're trying to do. Like, so if you're a venue listening to this, listen to us. That's what we're not here to mess around, man. We're not just trying to get a gig at your place just to have a gig. We're not trying to do that. We want to promote it, and we hope you promote it. We want to work with partners. You know what I mean? We want to play somewhere that's like, yeah, we want to tell people you're going to be here, and we want to tell everybody we know, that we're going to be here as well. And that's where I'm trying to take advantage. From the Provels, from the Voodoo shows, from doing pianos, from all the things I've done, I have some people that have seen me play and hearing about the new project. It's been nice. We text about that. How many people, are excited about it and have reached out like, oh yeah, we'd love to do a show with you guys, and so that's refreshing. That's really cool, so yeah, it's now time to strike,
Yeah, for
When we
sure.
Get some cool shows and work our way up to some festivals. It'd be nice. I'd like to do that. Opening slots are good, and then we'll headline some shows as well. We're gonna get that. We'll get that soon too.
Well, I think what was for me, like I liked seeing, even though it's obviously everybody has your dreams and goals and stuff, but like before you even invited me, like you announced online what you wanted to do. You said I want to cut a record by the end of the year. I want to get on, the road. I want to do like all these different things that you set goals for yourself already as the band, and then like. And it's cool to see, like, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun doing this, but we also have bigger dreams of what we want, things we want to get accomplished and stuff. So.
And you can do both. That's what I mean.
Oh,
we
yeah.
can do
Sure.
both. It doesn't have to be boring. Like, I've chosen this life of playing music, right or wrong. You know what I mean? And so, it's not
True
easy.
story, man.
You know what
True
I mean? It's
story.
not easy. It's a hustle. Like, people have no idea what I do every day. I make a living from the dueling pianos. Let's be honest. But I have several guys that work for me, and we can, we take up to 3 gigs in one day. But I'm always hustling up gigs because people don't know about that. So it's funny. I play every week pretty much when I do dueling pianos for a huge crowd. I never play for less than a couple hundred people and blah blah blah. And I make good money, etc. And I want to do the opposite of that. I'm trying to take this band that nobody knows about and go play probably for whatever we can in the beginning for whatever people will pay us, But I don't care. It's about the love of it, and I have enough belief. And like you said, as I said in the beginning, I got a plan, man. I'm just turned 45. Let's work this 5 years till I'm 50. Let's see how we can grow this. And we're not sitting here. Maybe Bill's thinking different. He's like, yeah, we do. I don't want to be famous. That's not the goal. Like, I'm not trying to be like
he's
this.
the mayor, man. So
He's the mayor already, so he's famous. Yeah, no, I don't want to be huge, like that kind of thing. I'm not really trying to chase that. I just want to get to a level that we're desired enough. Like I said, whether it's festivals or bands, maybe a band. Again, okay, what would be awesome? If now this year it's not possible, but like Galactic, it's their 25th anniversary. Be awesome if Galactic was like, hey, you want to go on tour with us next year? You know what I mean? Like that would be that would be cool. That kind of level. We're still, because I love Galactic. It's one of my favorite bands,
dude.
But they're nobodies in the mainstream of the world. You know what I mean? Like Rich Vogel could walk in Chinooks and nobody will know who he is. Only I would fanboy and freak out. You know what I mean? But so I would love to be at that kind of level. They're playing, Del Mar Hall and the Pageant and places like that. And they're traveling and touring, and they got, a crew and all that. That would be awesome, to get to that kind of level. That's my dream for the Provels, is to get to, that kind of level. So yeah, it's not like we're trying to, sell out stadiums or arenas or any of that kind of stuff. I just want to play our music, interpretations we want, and have a party, because that's all going on all the time. There's tons of bands, there's tons of venues, that's all happening anyway. So how can we do it that people like what we do? I was like, yeah, man, I want to go see them again because it's fun and I get a good feeling. And I know that sounds cliche, but I mean, there's enough. It's cold and rainy out today. Like, there's enough negative. Like, Spankonya just wants to bring some fun and joy to you wherever we're playing, whether it's a house party or old rock house or whatever. You know what I mean? So I know it sounds stupid, but it really is how I feel. Like I think we all dream that. We all want to have good days and have fun and all that stuff, right? So how can we take that with the band and sort of deliver that fantasy a little bit? You know what I'm saying? People go to work and they're like, they stop in for a drink, and let's be that void they fill for that hour or a couple hours, whatever. And they're like, yeah, man, whatever reason, I feel better.
Yeah. You kind of alluded to some of the stuff that you might be playing, some of the songs and things. As far as like you guys, some of these rehearsals and things, are you guys bringing in some different song suggestions, or the three of you? Or
listen, I'll tell you some artists we're covering, okay? And like all three of us have been discussing, because that's more fun. It's so great when when one guy's like, man, I love to do this song, and we do it, because that, you know what I mean? That guy's like, yeah, we're playing this song. It's so much fun, So it's I hate going, no, that's a stupid idea. It's fun to go, I'm opening up to it. What you got? So we're doing a Devo tune, and I guarantee you when we play it, I don't even know, 1 out of 50 might know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but it's a cool
It's
song.
such a jammer, though.
It is
I mean,
a jam.
it's like,
I can't believe it's not like a hit. You know what I mean?
I know. People are going to be dancing hard on that tune.
They're going to dance. They're going to have a blast. We're going to get weird with it. Like that's going to be one where we use a synth on and stuff like that. We're doing a Cake tune. But not one that people be like, oh yeah, probably that Cake tune. No, it's not one you're going to expect. We're doing a Beatles tune that most people won't know is even a Beatles tune. I think it's on Yellow Submarine, but it's a jam. And honestly, like, you hear it, you're like, holy crap, So we've been studying songs like that and finding some different stuff that we can do together as a band that we like, that people will still dance. And just have a good time too. So yeah, we got some weird stuff actually. But
it's a cool list.
But not weird where you're like, oh, that's stupid. It's weird where you're like, oh, that sounds awesome.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And I think you also said something along the lines that this will be open enough to where possibly bringing in other players.
Yeah, absolutely. Once we get some, enough gigs under our belt and we get the right ones, I want to bring in maybe a horn player. I'd love to get like Charlie playing sax or something, or even Jim play guitar on special guest. Yeah, we want to continue to change it up like that. Where even if you came see us, we play those songs, and now we've just added a different element to change it up a little bit, because we just want to keep it fun like that. You know,
man, I think that's super cool. Like I love bands that that have that, to where they can expand. You see multiple various versions of the band. It might be the core three of you, but now all of a sudden you got a sax player sitting in for the set, for this show and stuff, and it brings a whole new element to it.
It does, totally does.
So yeah, I think that could be really cool to expand on that and stuff, and just like, obviously we can do it, the three of you, but then what's it keeps making him greater.
It'd be nice. I want to get some gigs so people come see us and they go, oh, that band looks fun and they're tight. So our musician buddies are like, dude, I want to play. And it's been nice. I've actually had a lot of not bass players, drummers be like, hey man, he needs somebody. Well, a lot of guys hit me up, which is cool. That's what I want. We want to grow that. I would love for somebody's like, yeah, dude, I want to play, or even just for a set. Like I said, we have a horn player or something. Yeah, man. That'd be cool. And it just changes so much, and we can work off that and play off each other and all that kind of stuff, so.
Well, you both come from that kind of improv jam kind of
totally
scene and background and stuff, so you guys would definitely feed off of that kind of energy and
yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what's it's fun to see where it takes you, and that's what I mean. You can get experimental and jam and whatnot while still make people dance and have a good time without losing them, without even your people that aren't in the scene, even your weekend warriors that are just like, they just want to feel it. You know what I mean? As long as you're making people feel it, then it's working, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, again, grab some tickets. Come see Spankonya live. Again at Old Rock House, February 27th. Thursday night. I believe 7 o'clock doors, 8 o'clock show.
Spankonya.
And
9 o'clock Joslyn and the Sweet Compression.
There it is.
Yeah.
And
Boom.
and then again, you can find more information on Facebook and Instagram at and then but I've been asking some of these questions. These are just kind of fun for me to
your standard podcast questions?
yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Some of them, they're so I guess truth be told, I got these from Ellen. She does these like burning questions, and they were always made me laugh. But they're fun, like kind of open-ended, where so that everybody's answer is always fun to see what they say on some of this stuff. But I wanted to ask, like, what's a dream duet or collaboration? And this could be for both of you individuals, or as the band and stuff. What would be somebody we might want to include? I mean, it could be a player or a vocalist or a producer or anything.
With the band?
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's a good on the spot question.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know you guys are both huge fish fans. We were talking about earlier. I mean, is something like that, Trey or Mike or something?
That'd be. I mean, for sure, that'd be obviously like, yeah, that'd be sick. That's what I mean. I think that's what I like about all the different guitar players we know. It would be cool because their all styles are different. You know, you go from Jim Peters to Sean Cannon to Pete Lombardo, who I played with last night. They're all three totally different,
right?
But all shred in their own way. You know what I mean? There's so many good guitar players in town. And
I don't want to cut you off, but speaking of that, I went to see that Chuck Berry tribute last night.
Oh yeah, how was it?
It was a really good time, but that was like it was really a great example of that, how they can all be playing the same song even
sound different,
but it was they closed out the night with Johnny B. Good, obviously, and they had Mike Zito, Robin Ford, Eric Gales, Walter Trout,
holy crap,
and Richard Fortis and Charlie Berry III. So they had like all of them on guitar, and everybody like was doing solos, and they all had their own take on, So it's like, anyway, it was just really a killer night of guitar players for sure. Like that.
Well, it's like a different flavor. You know what I mean? That's what I like. It's the same. It's like it's a different flavor. Sometimes you want something super spicy. You know what I mean? Something mild and in between. So yeah, that's cool. I dig. That's what I mean. That's what's fun is we have the foundation and let somebody come in and kind of give a different flavor that night. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a more disco feel. I don't know.
There you go.
You know.
So, so what's do you guys have, is there any particular part of that a dream duet or got any or just all these guys?
Yeah, all those guys.
All
really.
of them.
Yeah, I just want to play. I
like
you know
playing
what?
with everybody.
Yeah, that's the truth
Honestly,
though.
sure.
I want to play with good people.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people. Anybody can be a musician, right? You know, and so that's the thing. It's like I want to play with good people, and it's fun. Less is more. It's so hard. Less is more. Less is more, and everybody's afraid of space, and that even goes for me. I have to remind myself, less is more. Less is more. Like the best compliment I got last night was the guitar player's like, "Man, you give me so much space." And I was like, "Thank you. I appreciate that."
Nice.
Because that's a huge compliment. He's like, "You give me so much space to do my thing." I'm like, and that's what sucks. Like you can't tell anybody that. They don't get that. Nobody else understands that. But that's the biggest compliment I could get was from the guy going, "Hey man, you give me so much space." I'm like, yes, thank you. I did my job. And like, you know what I mean? Like, and because of that, it sounds good to all the people though. You know what I mean? It sounds better because this guy is standing there. He's appreciate that I'm not playing over top of him. So he's playing better, more confident or whatever. And I am just holding it where it needs to be versus having to play over top of him or underwhelm. You know what I mean? So yeah,
that's truly playing together, you know?
Right. Totally. And so we just want to play with good musicians and like, not stifle somebody. Come in, plug in, let's go. Let's do your thing. You know what I mean? Let's, we're going to support you and, all that. And again, this is not, people take this for granted. Like that's not easy stuff. The people talk about this, but rarely, not rarely, but often it doesn't get done really well or properly. You know what I mean? We're not just trying to get drunk at the bar and play gigs.
Right.
We did that when we were 25 years old, 20 years old,
Yep.
whatever, you know.
Yep.
Now we're trying to get drunk and do
Still doing
awesome
it. Oh,
gigs.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, no, you know what I mean? We want to put on a good show, and we want whoever playing with us to do their thing. Otherwise, why would we have them playing with us?
Right. What's a song that always gets stuck in your head?
Ooh. I feel like it's the ones that everybody mocks all the time.
Right.
Because I get Wagon Wheel and those kind of songs that work all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So then they just like, I'm laughing because I'm posting that I got a request and people are like, don't play it, you know, or Mustang Sally. And so the songs get stuck in my head all the, you know, that kind of stuff all the time. Or, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's always something like that.
Yeah.
You can't shake it, you know.
I talk about it a lot when this comes up, but like the way my brain tends to work is like I'll get a fragment of a song, and then it will just be on a loop, and it'll be like it won't like it's not like it would just be like one line, and it's over and over, and then like so it's just it's I don't know. And then I heard a comedian Matt Bronger kind of talk about the same thing, like where that it's that, and then you start remixing it in your brain. It starts like, and then so like and it's like so I don't know. It's like that's the way it works for me though. I don't. But lately it's been I tend to whistle a lot too while I'm at work, just because like I just get these songs stuck in my head like that, and I start whistling along. And lately it's been like Staying Alive from. Bee Gees, like I don't know why I whistle.
You start walking to the beat and everything.
I whistle that a lot too, though. So
that's funny. Yeah, I think it's just like what you hear half the time. Or
Well, like this morning we were listening to that Fish song, and it's like I forget how it goes now, but it's like he's looking for you or whatever. I've had that in my head this whole time since we did that.
I'll tell you another good one is after that Alan Toussaint show that Dave Grelly did and all those guys. That was like I was singing that. Everything I do is going to be funky from there.
Yeah, you're right, totally. Like that, you can't escape it all of a sudden. Everything you walk around, don't be funky. Yeah, you just can't.
That was like that one line just on a loop all day in my head. Just nodding around.
That's a good day right there.
Sure, man.
I feel like a lot of times it's whatever project I'm working on. So like I had to brush up on a bunch of meters tunes and stuff like for yesterday's gig, and then for the new band we're learning new interpretations, and then the voodoo shows I do all the time. Like right now I'm in the middle of like 12 out of 14 weeks, so I had to learn a bunch of new Bruce Springsteen tunes. Then we just did Bob Marley, so I didn't have to shed too hard. I don't think we have anything new. We have Jimmy Buffett coming up, but I feel like it's always whatever I'm working on like that, that song that either sometimes it's the ones I don't like or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just stuck. You're like, oh man, so I walk around singing weird things like that. And people are like, what are you singing? I'm like, it's just something for work. A lot of it feels like a work. It's like for work,
Yeah. What's a movie or TV show you guys wish you were in? Is there any, you guys getting into anything lately?
I love crime shows and stuff like that. I just watched this new show. See, other shows that I watch, I don't know anybody else that watches this stuff too, but I know people watch this stuff. It wouldn't be on TV, you know. But like, what is this show called? Prodigal Son. It's just this crime show. The kid's dad was a serial killer. He was a surgeon. They called him the surgeon. He killed 23 people, and now the son is helping the FBI, or CIA help solve, serial killers and all that kind of stuff. And he has to go back and see his dad in prison. All this. I love stuff like that. Anything. My brain works that way. Like I can handle a lot. I can, you know what I mean? I'll have my iPad. I'll play a game or read something on there. I'll have my phone going right here. I'll have my laptop going. I'll have the TV going on in the background. I listen to a lot of stuff. I love like Swamp Loggers and like all those kinds of shows. I love that kind of stuff. Shark Tank. I love all this, but I don't have to visually watch a lot of those things. Well, I can listen.
What would be your sales pitch at Shark Tank? You got a product you thinking about?
I'm right here, baby.
Yeah.
No, I think about that actually. I think because I feel like my dueling pianos thing could be a nationwide thing because it's so perfect for so many different things, So I've dreamt like getting on there, and I dream like what would be my pitch, like how do I get them to understand this is scalable, that you literally can be done just about anywhere. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I don't know. I love that show though, because I love watching the people come in, and some people like their act together, man, and they're all over it. And some people are like, how'd you even get this far? You know, like, but then sometimes they're dumb like that, and they have just a killer idea, you know, and they're a great product, and then the sharks are all over them. They're just like, throwing money at them. It's just amazing. I love stuff like that. The world is crazy. You know?
Yeah.
America's crazy.
Yeah. That show's I don't get to watch it very often, but it is entertaining, like, and it's interesting to see the different marketing approaches and stuff. And that's some probably maybe a good manager would start to look at.
Yes, you need to watch every season of Shark Tank. Take notes now.
Right. Just I don't know. But I do feel like there's all that, it's like borrow from good ideas and try to make it your own and stuff. So,
no, totally. Yeah. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what people are trying to do all the time. Sometimes you just gotta go back to the basics. You know what I mean? It's crazy how that holds true a lot of times. You stick with what got people in places where they are, like, instead of trying to reinvent everything. It's like, no, just go. It's just like this band thing. Well, now I made that joke. I used to get the RFT and I get look up for auditions when I move back here. Now everything's online, so you have to adapt to that world. So you can't just do Facebook anymore. Now you have to do Instagram, and now you have to do all these different things because you're hoping that people run across it. Like when we do the voodoo shows, I love that if we're doing Neil Young or Bob Dylan or Allman Brothers, people need more, they say a month, but really they need more than a month to find out about it because people are so busy and you don't always see every post and everything, So yeah, it's just, that's the thing. That's why we have a plan, and you try to, come up with what your posts are going to be, even if they're silly. You're just trying to get engaging or see people see something. Like I'm going to get a new Leslie. Oh, I'm so excited. And so, my post is out already. So my original Leslie that I've had, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many years now. So her name is Mona Leslie, right? And she's retired. Last night was her last night gig. Her out on the road, like she's gonna stay in the rehearsal space. And I'm going to pick up a new Leslie, and his name's Nielsen, Leslie Nielsen. I just love it.
It's awesome.
It
that's
fits
so
so
awesome.
well. I was gonna take like a poll and see if people want to name it. I'm like, no, I'm going to name it Nielsen. And if you don't know who Leslie Nielsen is, I don't want to be friends with you anyways, or you're really young. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That's pretty great. So you, I guess you talk about some of the different. Are you bringing multiple keys?
Yes. So I typically use two boards. I use a Yamaha XK2. For my organ, Yamaha's Hammond XK2. My goodness, that's my organ. I've had that forever. I like it because somebody modified one of my patches. I don't know where this happened along the way, and so there's a pitch bend on there, and usually you can pitch bend up a whole note or down a whole note. Okay, and on this, I can pitch bend a whole octave up or a whole octave down. Whoa! And that's when you hear all make a wee wee. Like I actually used it in one of my solos last night. It almost does like I was scratching because I can just hold that note and change the sound of that. You know what I mean? The pitch of that note with that. When it's an octave one, you really can get crazy. You can move a lot of space. You know what I mean? So I love using that. It's I'm classically trained. I learned Suzuki method. I mean, I took 10 years of classical piano lessons and all that. But so I know how to play proper and boring and all that, but I want to, you know what I mean? But I want to get weird and I want to use my body. And so that's why I like using all that. I like using my drawbars and changing the tone that way and things like that. And then I use, I'll probably have actually 3 boards. I haven't decided. Yeah. Then I have a Yamaha CP33 that I use for piano, Rhodes and clav pretty much. And then I got a couple effects. I use, envelope filter and a line 6 and all that kind of stuff. And then I might have a synth with me sometimes. I'm thinking about bringing up my Korg DW6000 I've had since I was 9 years old in 1984. I use it only on the Talking Head show. All right. And so it has this pitch bend bar and oscillator and all this stuff. And like Sean said it after the first time I used it on that show, because it sits right up there and it has all those weird 70s crazy sounds. And, you can use the oscillator and all this stuff on it. And Sean's like, man, that's the star of the show, that board. It's just so crazy and weird, So I might break that out every now and then too, because, that's the thing. We're going to get we're going to grow our song list enough that people are like, it's that you're not going to get stale, but it's always going to be fun. And I think that's more for us than for everybody else. Like I want to, as a band, I don't want to play the same 30 songs all the time. That just sucks the life out of you, so let's have a good, I'm shooting for 100 songs, interpretations besides our original. So, just to pull from the bag and be like, yeah, let's do this. Seems like that kind of crowd, or, or somebody yells something out like, yeah, we got something by that artist. It's not what you're looking for, but you're going to like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I know you wrote some your own stuff, and you've wrote stuff. Both of you guys have been again part of Provels and writing with that too, and so. Are any of those things you think maybe being reinterpreted as Spankonya? Or are you going to start all over with brand new music? Or
I got all new stuff.
Right.
I mean, a lot of my stuff comes from like most people. Life. I write. It's therapeutic for me, and I think that's why I'm just to the point. I'm like, you know what? I don't mind sharing some of this stuff because I don't really. And that's horrible to say, and maybe people think that, but I don't really care if people like it. I mean, I want people to like it, but I'm not writing it thinking, I hope people like this. I think it's cool, and so I go with it. You know what I mean? And like lyrics are hard, but you just write what you know, or like it's fun to take what I'm going through and put that on a character and write like that character's going through it. You know what I mean? So it's still almost kind of true in what I'm dealing with, but it doesn't feel as personal because it's, whoever over here, with the story and stuff like that. And so, it's just that kind of stuff. And really it's all about the groove and the vibe and whatnot. You know?
But I'm excited for all of it, but like, I think it'd be super cool to start getting some of these originals. And again,
I think next rehearsal, we're going to work on the first one.
Hopefully, cut a record.
We'll get a record.
Cut a record sometime this year.
We'll get it out in 2020. Yeah, no doubt. Because I'll tell you. So like, Andy Coco and I are going to Jam Cruise next year in January 2021, and so I want to have an album to take with me.
There you
know what I mean? I want to have merch. I want to have stuff to network. I mean, we talked about why we're going. Like, we want to go network, and I love it. He's like, yeah, we got to make sure we have some songs together so we can play. I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And that I want to promote the band there. You know what I mean? There's so many people there. Like, I was lucky to meet with Robert Walter. He's a keyboard player from Grey Boy All Stars, and he has Robert Walter's 20th Congress. He was playing keys for Mike Gordon when he was in town a couple weeks ago. And this is the kind of person I am. In November, I started writing. Well, actually, I wrote to Robert first, and he didn't respond. I knew that. So then I wrote to his manager. I looked up his manager, and I wrote to her, and she responded eventually. And then I just kept working that. And even she said, yeah, he was going to meet with me, and blah, blah, blah. And she says, as it gets closer to the day of schedule, I'll let you know. And didn't hear from her that day. I was like, I'm still going to send an email. I'm like, hey, I'm available all day if Robert, has, because I said, can I take him to lunch? Can I take him to dinner? Can I have 15 minutes? I was like, I'll take whatever I can get. I was like, I'm a big fan, but I also want to, talk to him, blah, blah. So she wrote me back. She got my email that morning. She texted me right away. She's like, hey, yeah, here's Robert's number and blah, blah, blah. And so I got to meet with him and talk to him. And it's just neat, like finding it, getting that advice and learning and getting guys playing keys for Mike Gordon from Fish. It's like, how do you get that gig? And he said Fish used to come see his band play, like when the 20th Congress or Grey Boy All Stars would play up in the Northeast. He said Fish used to go to shows a lot. They go see bands play.
Nice.
And so he became friends, and he said he went out to Vegas to see if he was in Vegas for like one of the Halloween Fish shows a couple years ago. And Mike's like, they had dinner. He's like, yeah, I was having dinner with Mike. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I'm just sitting here like, he's just like, yeah, no big deal. And he's like, I'm looking for a new band. Would you be interested in playing? You're like, holy crap, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's like the some of the cool stuff, like when bands actually support each other and like doing. There's a great picture that was circulating online, like of like early days of like Rage Against the Machine, I think, and then like Maynard from Tools, like front row, and like the mohawk and stuff, and like so like it's people were out there supporting each other like at the beginning and stuff. So like it's cool to see when you have that, you develop that community where you all want the best for each other and stuff. And
absolutely, so, it is a big family, and you got to watch out for each other. And like, yeah, I mean, it is good to be supportive, and that's what we're starting to get. Like, that people are hitting us up, different bands that we want to do shows with. That's awesome that they're excited to do shows with us too. You know what I mean? And so, no, let's do that. That's what I mean. It's like a crazy thought, huh? Hey, you're a band and I'm a band, and we want to do a show and both promote it. Oh my gosh, crazy! You know what I mean? So that's what I like about the bands that have been hitting us up. They're bands that actually promote and stuff, and that's what we need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, let's work with the venue and let's do a show with another band and all get on the same page and see what we can get out there. You know what I mean? It's not rocket science, but it's work. You know, it's got stuff you got to do.
For sure.
Get posters out and record podcast.
There it is.
Get pictures.
Yep.
Well, let's wrap this thing up again. Find Spankonya all on your social media, and you can come out on February 27th, Old Rock House, and see us live, and coming to a venue near you after that.
That's right.
We're hitting the ground running. So,
amen. 2020.
Well, thank you, boys, for doing this.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Shane.
Look forward to everything.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good year.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.